Hey, this is Grit City Punk, special video edition. I have with me Phia from the Rat Utopia Experiment. Hey, Phia.
Hello. Hello.
And we are going to talk about the Rat Utopia's brand new single. What's the single called?
Creature comfort.
All right. So the single just came out today. I'm hoping that everybody has listened to it at least 5 times before clicking the button on this thing. So, what can you tell me about the song? When did you write it? What was going through your head when you wrote it?
So this song is actually, I feel like we've had it for a ridiculously long time for how long it took us to record it, because this is back from well, we took a break in October, but we'd been playing it for when did we play Gravel Pit in August. So that must have been our first time last year playing it. So we've been sitting on it for like over 6 months.
Yeah.
Now we're finally releasing it. It's been like 10 months. Wow. Yeah, so
Yeah.
10 months we've had this song, and it's been recorded since February. It started as a jam because we kept talking about, oh, we need to make a Riot Girl song, because I was really into Bikini Kill and Jack Off Jill at the time, and so was Evan. And so we were like, we need to make a Riot Girl song. And we jammed on it, and then we sat down on it and like actually fleshed it out, and it turned out really good, I think.
Yeah. You mentioned Bikini Kill and Riot Girl and stuff. There's definitely some of that, but I also feel like there's some deeper rooted punk in that.
100%.
Um, Maybe like 80s, early 90s, kind of California skate punk almost. Definitely the thrashiest, punkiest song you guys have put out yet.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the lyrics.
Yes. Oh, I wish I had them.
So it's it's basically a storytelling song.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kind of a loose narrative. There's two characters. There's a rich man
Yeah.
and a young man.
I call him the law boy in my
The
head.
law boy, okay,
Yeah.
but he never went to law school.
No.
So, so what inspired the story of the two characters? Are they based on real people, or is it just like analogs for just certain types of people?
Well, I really like TV dramas. I like dramas about white collar workers, like medical dramas. And I was watching this show called Suits about you'll never guess what it's about. It's about a boy who gets hired to a law firm, and he doesn't have a law degree. um,
Seems like it's relevant here.
yeah, that's exactly what inspired the lyrics of the song. But I mean, there's it's not just about this show Suits, but I mean that's what the narrative is based off of for sure.
Okay, so basically the rich man is getting over on everybody
Mm-hmm.
and committing heinous crimes, and he's hired this young uh, fake law kid, fake
Mm-hmm.
lawyer, to kind of cover up for him, and he fails miserably. He does the crimes don't get covered up; it's obvious,
Yeah.
uh, but he still doesn't get in trouble.
Mm-mm.
There's some lines in the last verse. Um, the rich man's in trouble and he stands before the court. The senator, however, likes the man's earning report. I like that. He fucks his district and his mistress and the justice system too. Are you sure this isn't about somebody?
This isn't about anybody. Well,
Okay,
you could say it's about somebody.
sure.
Because that kind of happened after, because it was me and Evan really. He's helped me with all of the songs, but this one it was like, because I feel like in the beginning when we were working together writing songs, he would help me with some ideas, because I just wasn't sure. But this one we actually felt like we co-wrote it. So like it started. We were looking at the thesaurus when we came up with creature comfort. I found that word in a. I found that phrase in the thesaurus, and and then he was like, "Creature comfort, no condolences. They gotta show up to whoever's pull it is." And I was like, "Oh!" And then I became the narrative because I was watching Suits, and I just kind of showed it to him. And then we needed to wrap up the story somehow. So the song originally was just kind of talking about like the narrative in Suits because I think you can apply that to a lot of real life things, and it was kind of vague at first. But then the last verse made it a little more specific because then we kind of locked into what we were talking about
Hmm.
as we continued to write the song. So I feel like it's obvious it's about Trump getting impeached, and nobody gave a hoot about his 35. How many? 35 crimes?
36.
36 crimes?
Yeah, felonies. Yeah,
Felonies. That's right.
yeah,
Trump's felonies, man. Oh yeah,
yeah.
36.
36. Um, so this is definitely your most political song. I think the only one that comes close would be Europa.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is political, but it's also vague enough to kind of fly under the radar if you're not really paying attention.
Really, I feel like it's really overt.
I mean, it kind of is. Maybe I'm just dumb. It took me a while to actually wrap my head around exactly what was
That's
being
fair.
said in it.
That's fair.
Um, so is this marking a new direction, or is this just kind of one thing you're playing with, or is this kind of, because I know you're writing now and you're working on more
Definitely.
songs for a future, hopefully not too far away project. So is this kind of indicative of what's to come with that project, or is this more of just like a, hey, we're kind of in between, this is something for now?
Mm, well, I look back at those older songs, and I mean, they feel so much older to me, and it's only a couple years ago. But because a lot of those first songs, I was only like 13 when I was writing them, and now I'm about to turn 17 in August, and I just feel like when I wrote Europa, it was that was another song I did with Evan, and he really guided the train on that song. And I was speaking of politically, but I guess I feel like when I look back at the song, I feel like I wasn't really 100% sure, like locked into what I was talking about and what I was singing about. And now I just feel like I'm older. Now I understand things that I want to write songs about, and there are things I want to write songs about. So I think I think you could say Creature Comfort's a new direction because I just feel like I kind of know what I want or what I need to talk about now. Because before it was, I don't want to say it's random stuff because it's not random. Each song is about something.
Mm-hmm.
But now I feel like I'm just more of a songwriter. I just feel like so you could say yeah, I think it's a new direction. I think Son of Sam's another political one that we've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's whatever is really capturing my attention right now.
Well, there's certainly a lot of topics to write about right now.
Hmm.
So this is the first time recording a song with the new lineup. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that. Let's
Oh man,
how are the new kids?
they were awesome. It was insane. I think we hopped in the studio like 2 weeks after they joined the band.
Yeah, it was very fast.
Yeah. Like really fast. Yeah. They were good though. I know it was Francis, he's the bass player. Francis, it wasn't his first time recording anything because he's been making his own music, but it was his first time in a studio setting, and I know it was Casey's first time at doing any kind of professional recording because I think he'd recorded some covers before, perhaps, but not anything like that. But I think they did really good for their first time in the studio. Like I know I tweaked out my first time in the studio back and live it all out, so I think they did really good, and I think it went pretty smoothly. I did make everybody go back and re-record their parts about 2 months later, but that was unrelated to how the first session went. I think it went really well.
So what's the reason for the re-records then?
Um, well, I think I had them. It was the I was listening back to the song and the tone, the not the tone, the dynamics were bothering me. The dynamics were bothering me really really bad because it kind of felt it's a punk song, but it kind of felt just straight all the way through. Not it needed more changes. There's 5 verses. I have to keep you
Yeah.
interested somehow. There are 5 verses,
Yeah.
and so I ended up having everybody go back in and re-recording it with more dynamics, and then we also in the little the half chorus, the bridge thing, we do this
Hmm.
descending line now that we didn't do before because it sounds cool. And I came
Yeah.
up with it after we'd already been in the studio, and I was like, actually, guys, I'm sorry. So that's yeah. We just it just needed more dynamics, and I think it became a much it was a good song before it became a much better song after.
Yeah, I think I know the descending line that you're talking about because I noticed it. That was like the first thing I noticed musically about the song that I didn't remember from seeing guys play it live.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but yeah, definitely a. It sounds really thrashy and it sounds chaotic,
It's
but
definitely
not
chaotic.
but not too much overboard to like muddy it up. Like the performances and the mix and everything is still clean enough to where it sounds like a good professional recording, but it's very lo-fi kind of in the same way as far as like how the arrangement is approached.
Yeah, I think I was really inspired by Jessica Adams and her projects when we went in the studio for it. Not necessarily, I mean, Jack Off Jill originally, yeah, when we were writing it, but in the studio for the whole when we added dynamics. I think uh if you listen to her Scarling project, Jessica Adams, I think you can really hear that in Creature Comfort with it. It's real loud, but it's also like with the feedback in the verses, I think it gets kind of vibey.
Yeah, it definitely fills the room, and that's where the
Yeah,
dynamics come into play, is letting that feedback and those power chords just kind of ring through.
yeah, exactly.
So tell me about the samples. There's a sample to open and a sample at the end, and I didn't immediately recognize the first one, but by the time the end played, I knew exactly what the first one was.
That
So,
was the idea. That was the idea.
so yeah, because that first one that's a little bit more obscure. So tell me, well, first of all, tell me what they are and why you specifically chose those and where to put them.
Well, okay, so that was Nixon's resignation speech. I think the first one, the sample used in the beginning was his resignation speech to the White House staff, and then the last one was his address on TV to America. And I think Evan, that was Evan's idea originally. He was talking about, I think it was Evan. I don't know. We were in the we came up with the sample while we were recording it in the studio, so it wasn't even planned originally. And then we went on a whole rabbit hole looking through the stuff, and I found that speech to the White House, and I was like, he's talking about a lawyer here. I was like, there's no way. It was so hyped because I was like, oh, it's perfect for the song. It added such a good intro, and then obviously we added in the ending because it ties it all together, and then you know who's speaking in the beginning because it's not as impactful if you don't know who's talking in the beginning.
Right.
And well, because the whole song is about some guy who gets away with the corruption that he's going with, and so obviously Nixon did not get away with the corruption because he resigned before he could be impeached. And I guess
Well,
so
yeah,
that's why.
he basically got away with it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but I guess that's why it ties into the song. That's why we thought it would be perfect, that whole Watergate Watergate
Yeah.
story thing, and then just back to recent events with other presidents who get impeached almost.
Yeah. So the cover art. Let's talk about the cover art.
Okay, that was fun to make. I think I have it somewhere around here.
Our splash it on the video. So it's very DIY collage kind of thing. Tell me about that direction.
Okay. Will you run in my dad's room or you go get it? It's please. It's my the single cover. It just should be sitting in there. It is a collage. Like I literally physically made it and had to scan all of the pieces. Um, the face is that's Nixon. I cut out Nixon's like picture, and the
Hmm.
background is Watergate. And then obviously, underneath Nixon is the lyrics to Creature Comfort.
Hmm.
Um,
There's a peach.
I guess so, yes, the peach, and I was gonna be an orange originally, and then Francis suggested a peach, and I thought that was a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Um, I used crayons on the cover. I drew the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to make. Oh, thanks. Look at it's like it looks so ugly in person. Oh, and this Polaroid. Oh my goodness.
Oh, what's the
That's right.
Polaroid?
It is a picture of me at the British Museum.
Oh,
I just thought it filled up space. So here's it in person. It's got, I think it's 3 layers of stuff. But yeah, it wasn't the, I didn't had no idea what I was gonna do for the single cover originally, but it actually came to be after I saw this person online who makes mixed media videos
mm-hmm.
of movies and bands, and I don't want to give too much away in case I don't finish the project, but I was inspired by that. And then the thing that I started working on after I was inspired by that inspired this whole thing. So, I mean, there's not much behind the mixed media part of it other than it was fun to make. But all the little symbols that I added, I thought about those. What a yap fest.
Yeah, yeah. The peach though, um, that's kind of funny because I mean you can take it as impeachment, or you can take it as I believe it was a conversation between Neil Young and I believe it was David Crosby when Neil Young dropped out of the tour that they were doing, like in late '70s maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and he left a letter to David Crosby and he just said, "Hey, I'm going home. Go eat a peach."
Really? I haven't heard that
Yeah,
story. That's good.
yeah, and apparently there's also like an Allman Brothers song or an album called "Eat a Peach," which is probably about something else. I won't speculate. Um,
Presidents of the United States.
Peaches,
Peaches? Yeah.
yeah. You watch Game of Thrones?
No.
Oh, there's a lot of good imagery with peaches and war, so that kind of fits too.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's got a sweet taste, but it's messy. Is basically what that means. So that's pretty much all the questions I had for you for
Cool.
the song itself. Um, so I hope everybody has listened to it a lot. I sure have. It's a lot of fun. I think it's definitely your best work yet. I think it really shows a lot of growth in the band and definitely a different direction. And I think it's definitely leaning more into a garage punk kind of indie rock kind of leaning more than what the previous singles had been.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to say, hey, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think everybody's just matured. So it's cool. It's good.
Cool. Well, you are going to play this song at
Yes.
2 shows this weekend, the 30th and 31st, right?
30th at Real Art for Terra in Tacoma.
My
That's gonna
show.
be fun. Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. My
That's been
show.
planned. Yes, that's been planned for a while. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
And
the 31st is in a cave in
it is in a
Bellingham.
cave. Yeah. In the Arboretum in Bellingham, in a freaking cave.
In a cave.
Yeah. It's a generator show.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, my better half played there, and they had like the craziest show there. It looked awesome. So now
Yeah.
we're playing with Zookraut.
Zookraut.
Zookraut. I always say it wrong. They're gonna get me.
It's Zookraut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no problem.
Any quick shout outs? Anything you want to say?
I got nothing.
Okay. I have one thing. Shout out Blade Brown. That's it. This has been Grit City Punk Video Edition #1, the first ever video edition. How cool is that? Bye.
It's a cold day in June when the rich man came to town. He said, "Listen, boy, I ain't here to fuck around." The boy said, "Gosh, I ain't got my law degree." And the rich man just replied, "That shit don't matter to me." Creature comfort, now condolences. Gotta show up till the river's full. It is creature comfort, they don't care about your health or your wealth. So grow
been a Jiggle Down Productions production.